What's good, y'all? It's your boy BioSpider 3.0 back with part two of the Mafex number 248 review. I just wanted to give you guys some concluding thoughts on the figure and, obviously jump into size comparisons since we didn't get to that in part one. So, really quick, I just wanted to mention that I really like the way that Mafex handled the lenses on this, first release, this DLX release. I like how they handled the lenses on this one with the clear plastic, on the outside, and then the kind of like white underneath. I thought that was like a really cool look, and it did give like a lot of depth and dimension to the lenses. So, even for this being such an old figure at this point, I do like how they handled the lenses on this one. I think it was I think it was a good choice. It came out pretty good on this figure, and I was honestly hoping that they were gonna recreate something like that for this new release. Because remember, like I said in the review, I don't exactly like how they handled the lenses on this one so much, as far as like the flat white and the just like slightly glossy look to it, and obviously just like the overall shape of the lenses I think was like being too wide and everything, reminding me more of like the Tom Holland Spider-Man. So yeah, the stock head is cool. It's not a bad head, but stock head is cool, but Farul heads, cinematic, man. Cinematic masterpieces right here. You know what I'm saying? So like even on this like this white lens one, honestly I love both. Like this one and of course the metallic silver lenses. I can't even choose. Like it's I like displayed my figure yesterday with this the white lens one pretty much all day, and I love it, man. I mean, it's hard for me to say which one is better, but the metallic lenses do have like a bit of like extra finesse to them that I really like. But even these, I like how Farul, did the kind of more glassy look for like the lenses on this one, even though they're white. He gave them like a really nice glossy finish that makes them look like real lenses, that like glassy look to them. Just very, very nice, like a superior finish. And like even a step up, I would say, like to the DLX release, like how they did it. Mafex, that is. I like this. I think this is like the most like movie accurate cinematic type of look that you would get. So yeah, man, if you can afford these head sculpts, I highly, highly recommend them. Obviously, the head sculpts themselves, I think, are pretty cheap, but it's the shipping that's probably going to cost you a lot if you're in the States, because I believe these are made in Indonesia. And so the shipping, with especially like with all the new tariffs and everything, it's gonna add up a lot. I think for like both of these heads, all together, I think I paid like 75 or something. So yeah, it definitely wasn't cheap. I think on the website, like they're listed, each head I think is only about like $16. And then I'll have to check that again, and obviously I'll verify, let you guys know in the description. But I think each head was like $16. But like once you add like all the international shipping and the taxes and the tariffs and all that, I think yeah, both of these came out to about $75. So yeah, just something to mention. But I think it's worth it if you can get it, because it really does take the figure to the next level. Like I said, it fixes its proportions, and just the overall details I think are a lot better and more movie accurate. So just wanted to mention that. And then I also forgot to mention in the size comparisons, or sorry, the accessories section of the review, that he does obviously come with, web effects. I forgot to show those off. So, he does have a nice long web shooting effect like this. That's L-shaped. So obviously he can grab it at this little handle at the end. But yeah, so, you got a nice long one right there. You got another pretty long one about, yeah, like around the same length. Get about two of those kind of L-shaped ones, and then you get a kind of like mid-range one right here, and they're all done in a nice translucent, finish, kind of like McFarlane style with the spaghetti webs. A little bit of like white mixed in so that they're not like super, transparent. But yeah, nice finish on those. You get another kind of like mid-range one right here as well, like that. So that's cool. You can have those for like both hands. And then you get these two smaller ones. You get this one right here that has like a little loop on the end so that you can loop it around his wrist. And that should fit pretty nicely. And then of course you have this one as well. to duplicate that on his other hand. So that's cool. And again, if you have like the DLX figure, or at least its accessories, they should be able to fit into the hands of this new figure right here. So just be aware of that. I think like even the plutonium canister that came with the DLX release, I've seen a lot of people take pictures with this new figure holding that. And I gotta say, yeah, he looks like a ton better with, you know, like the new colors, the more saturated colors on this new one. I'm not gonna say necessarily that Mafex like nailed the colors of this one. I do think like maybe the red could even be a little more vibrant again. Like you can see on camera, it does seem like a little bit dark. But I'll tell you, it looks a heck of a lot better than the Marvel Legends release. I wish I had the Marvel Legends to compare it with. I did have that figure and I reviewed it on the channel, but I ended up giving it to my cousin. He moved to, you know, a different state earlier in the year, so, you know, he loves Spider-Man, so I thought as like a parting gift I would give him that Marvel Legends figure. So unfortunately I don't have it to compare. Excuse me, but I can tell you guys that the red on that figure was like far too dark, like way darker than this. So this is definitely a much better figure as far as like the colors. So like, you know, if you can get this one, I recommend it. Hasbro is actually re-releasing that figure in like a brighter red, and I think that is like such a scam, bro. But I'll talk about that in another video. Just not to waste, you know, too much time. Let's get into the size comparison. So here we go. Move these out the way. Oh, sorry guys. My bad. All right, so here we have the Tobey figure. We got the Tobey Maguire Toy Biz Spider-Man 1 figure right here. All right. So I don't have the Mafex Tobey from No Way Home just yet, but I will be getting that figure soon. And they just released the Tom Holland integrated suit figure for No Way Home. So eventually I'll be picking him up as well to complete this display. But here he is also with a deluxe Cobb Vamp from the Black series. All right. So there's the two of them. And yeah, I think they all scale pretty well. Andrew should definitely be a little taller than Tobey. And I'm not exactly sure. I think Timothy Oliphant is like maybe 6 feet or something like that. So yeah, I think that works out pretty well. I think Andrew Garfield is about like 5'11". So yeah, I think that scaling actually works just about perfect. So there you go. Moving them out the way. Here he is with a Marvel Legends retro card Shocker right here. All right. And for some more No Way Home, we have the Marvel Legends integrated suit. And I put the, this is a Tom Holland head from the, you know, Peter and Ned 2-pack. I just popped it onto, you know, this body. And I think it looks pretty good. But yeah, in case you wanted like a Marvel Legends comparison, or maybe you have this figure and maybe you're not looking to get the new Mafex one, just so you can see how those scale. I think that's pretty all right. I would argue that honestly, like Andrew could be a little bit taller. You know, Marvel Legends is definitely not true 1/12 scale. So like their figures do tend to scale a little bit bigger than they should. But yeah, I think you can make that work if you wanted to fudge it. But I'm guessing the Mafex one is definitely in better scale with this Mafex Andrew. But yeah, here we have the Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards from Toy Biz. That's the Bendy Attachments one. And then we have the Toy Biz Sentinel Build-A-Figure Wave Cyclops, also from Toy Biz. And yeah, I think that works out. Yeah, Reed and Andrew, I think, looking pretty good height. Cyclops is just a little bit larger than each of them, so there you go. For a Lightning Collection comparison, we have the In Space Blue Ranger right here, TJ. And for an SH Figuarts, we have, of course, the iconic Mighty Morphin Green or Dragon Ranger. And I think those two look pretty good with Spidey there. Yep, definitely works. You can definitely fudge that. And for some more Marvel Legends, we have the retro card Black Cat right here. And for a Mattel, we have the DC Universe All-Stars Classics New 52 style Batman right here. And Batman is definitely, you know, a big guy, a little bit bigger than your average character. So I think that works out pretty well for scaling. for a McFarlane Toys release comparison, we have the DC Rebirth Deathstroke right here. Move that over a bit. And we have the Toy Biz Green Goblin. You know, in case you never get the you know, the No Way Home version of Green Goblin, which is obviously like a little bit different than this one. Just so you can see how these scale. Maybe if you happen to have this figure, you can see how he scales with this Andrew, this Mafex Andrew. All right, so there is that. And we'll finish it off with Mafex Mark 50 Iron Man and the Ares Build-A-Figure Wave Human Torch from Hasbro. And yeah, I think those guys look pretty good with Spidey there. Johnny is definitely a bit taller than Spidey, and same thing with Iron Man, just a hair taller than Spidey there. All right, so there you go. Oh, I just want to show you guys real quick. I pulled my, this is my Maximum Spider-Man, obviously, from, you know, Hasbro. I pulled this guy straight out of my pocket one day, and he was just in this pose. Like, I kid you not, I did not purposely put him in this pose, but I just thought, you know, this was like one of the funniest poses that, like, you know, unintentionally happened. I thought this was like a really gangsta pose for Spidey as I pulled him out of my pocket. So I just wanted to show that off real quick. But just to get him standing next to this Andrew so we can see how he scales. Here he is with this new Mafex Andrew figure. You can see how those two, they stack out pretty nice. Maximum is just like a little bit taller. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, this ended up being like another 12-minute section. Since it's this long, might as well throw in these last two. Here is the wall sticking web Spider-Man, and for a Joe comparison, here is the Android. I think it's Bat. I think that's called like the Battle Android Trooper or whatever. But yeah, from G.I. Joe. All right, so there is your last comparisons. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. If you made it to the end, or if you watched the second part, leave a comment down below. And yeah, man, or on part one, I'll be checking, you know, both videos for the comments. But let me know what you think of this figure. Do you have it? Are you interested in getting it? Do you think that Mafex, you know, did a good job, a bad job on this? Let me know your thoughts on this guy, because again, I think he's a very solid figure overall. Really, it was just kind of like the head sculpt that was throwing him off for me, and you know, the proportions a little bit. But again, those fall real heads really helped to fix the proportions on this guy. So you know, that's something to consider. But yeah, I think overall it's a pretty, you know, another pretty much knock out the park for Mafex, a very solid figure. Again, you know, the colors might not be exactly right, but again, it's a huge step up, I would say, from like the Marvel Legends and even the SH Figure Arts. You know, the SH Figure Arts actually had some nice, vibrant colors on it. And, you know, I just want to clarify, I think in part one I said that like the SHF colors look kind of like, the red looked kind of orange. It doesn't really look orange. It looks like a red. I just meant that like sometimes the way the light hits it and like how they kind of did like the metallic color. I think they might have like overdid it just a touch to where sometimes when the light shines on it, it like the red kind of has like a orange like look to it. That's all I was saying. But like the overall red doesn't look orange. So, you know, just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, another solid figure. Let me guys know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you as always. I've got a lot more Spider-Man and Star Wars figure reviews coming up very soon. So if you're interested in those, be sure to subscribe. If you're new or if you haven't, hit that like button. Be sure to share the video. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day. Peace. It's your boy Bio. Dun, dun, dun.